My name is Muriel. This is my channel, As Told by Muriel. On this channel, I will be discussing all things nursing, motherhood, a little bit of travel. Hopefully, we'll be able to travel again soon. Just life things you go through as a woman in this world. Today's video, I'm going to talk about my home buying experience, and I'm going to tell you the things that I did to become a homeowner, the things that I can remember. It hasn't been that long, but it was so stressful. I try to block it. I don't block it out because y'all, other than nursing school, home, I don't know which was worse. So I'm gonna start by saying, we all, not all, because everybody doesn't want to purchase a home. I myself, I never knew where I wanted to live. I didn't know exactly where I wanted to live. I felt like at that time, I thought if you bought a home, that's where you had to live the rest of your life. And I was never settled on where I wanted to live. I never really thought of myself as a Southern girl, even though I've been in South Carolina the majority of my life. But I know I'm not a Northern girl, even though I was born and raised like the first few years of my life in New Jersey. So I wasn't sure about where I wanted to live. So I was like, I'm just going to put off buying a house until I'm absolutely sure. Even though I had already had children, and, that would have been the best thing to provide a stable home for them. I was just like, when the wind hit me to move, I moved. So I used to move a lot. It would be in the same county, but just from different house to house, stuff like that. So anyway, as I got older, matured a little, I had moved away from Columbia and moved to Charlotte, North Carolina for like 3 months, y'all. It wasn't even long. Didn't like it in Charlotte. Moved back to Columbia, and I was like, you know what? Let me just buy a house in Columbia, provide somewhere stable for my kids. We were never on the streets, but I moved so much, and it was nothing for me to pack to move. And as I got older, it started getting more tiresome to up and go. So I decided in 2017, I told my kids, because in 2017, it was me and my 5 children. We were in a two-bedroom apartment, in Columbia, South Carolina. I was in school to get my nursing degree. No, I projected myself to graduate in 2018. So I promised my kids in 2017, I said, y'all, I'm going to buy a house. I'm going to buy a house. I told myself that in 2017. Sometimes you got to just put things in the atmosphere. Now, mind you, I remember it was April of 2017. I called a mortgage company. I think I called, what's that one that advertised? I used to advertise all the time. I don't hear them now. It was one, not Rocket Mortgage, but it was another one used to advertise all the time. And y'all, when that man did my credit check. To buy a home, they use 3 scores: your TransUnion, your Equifax, and your Experian. Between those 3 scores, they go with your middle score. At that time, y'all, my middle score was 515. So, and I thought I was doing good paying my bills and stuff. I had some things on my credit report, some charge-offs, stuff like that. But I didn't know my credit was that low. So anywho, he told me the things to do. He was looking at my credit report, and he was telling me, look, this is what you need to do. You need to not have any late payments for a year. I think at the time he looked at it in April. My last late payment was like in January of that year. He said you can't have any late payments in a year. He was like, bring some of these credit accounts, because I had Badcock. I had a prepaid credit card. He was like, bring some of these balances down. You're using too much of your awarded credit or whatever. I had a car payment. The late payment on that was the last one was like in December. So I said, okay, thank you. I took, I was, happy for the advice. Then I joined this group on Facebook called Credit Warriors. I think it was Credit Warriors. And they gave me some other tips about buying a house, how to settle. People say you don't have to settle your outstanding debts. I wanted to settle some of them. I wanted to settle a lot of them because, y'all, it was a shame. I had debts that were like $200, $190 that were on there for like 3 and 4 years. Y'all, I called them people. I had a credit card prepaid credit card with Capital One that I let, once I got it, I had to pay, I think it was $300 to get it, but then they extended my credit to like $500 and then like $700, and I messed it up. but I think I had only owed them like $300 at the time. And y'all, they settled that account for like I think it was like for $115 or something like that. So I was going around settling accounts that were showing, they weren't showing as charge off, but they were showing as closed accounts. So I was going around like settling little things. I had T-Mobile that was for like $190. And that was for years ago, and I think they took like $89 to bring it to a zero balance. My main thing was bringing things to a zero balance. I was trying to bring things to a zero balance, but I still had 2 things on my credit report that were, I think one was a hospital bill, and another one, I can't remember what it was, but I remember the balance was like $800 something. I didn't pay those things. I didn't pay, I'm not gonna lie, but everything else on my credit report, I settled and brought it to a zero balance. As far as the things that were considered closed accounts, they didn't charge off, and they were closed accounts. There's a difference there. And then I had, the revolving lines of credit that I had, because I was told by the group that you should have some revolving lines of credit. So I had my car payment, which was one. I had a prepaid credit card through Open Sky. That was another. I had Badcock, who at the time I had like a $2,500 credit limit. That was another. I opened a Fingerhut account, and so that was another. And I had a loan at a loan office. That was another. So I had 5 revolving lines of credit. So you can say actually say from January of 2017 through April of 2018, which was April 2018 was an exact year from when I spoke to the guy about my credit. So from that year, I had no late payments on anything. Now, when I say no late payments, a lot of people think you had to, you should do this. Don't listen to me on this now. Like if my payment came due on the 16th or on the 5th, no late payments meant before the 30th of that month went out, that payment was paid, because your credit report is going to report 30, 60, 90 days increments at the end of each month. So if you make that payment before the end of that month, when they go to report that, like say your payment was due on the 5th, but you made the payment on the 23rd, they're going to report it as it's paid. They're not going to report it as, no, she paid it, but she paid it 5-10 days late. No, as long as it is paid before the 30th of that month, it is paid. I think March of 2018, what I started doing was I started looking for realtors in the area, because I didn't know Columbia. Even though I had been in Columbia already for like 4 years, I didn't know Columbia that well. I wasn't getting word of mouth from coworkers about realtors and stuff like that. I was trying to give someone new a chance, and then she was a young black female, so we did some talking back and forth on the phone, and then she asked me had I contacted anyone about applying for a mortgage loan, and I told her no. So she gave me the number to a guy, or either she gave the guy my number, I can't remember. But anyway, April of 2018, I had my credit run again for a mortgage company, and my credit had increased in 1 year. My middle score, I'm saying we're gonna go by my middle score, because you might have, say you have a score that's 586, a score that's 535, and a score that's 516. They're gonna use that 535 for your mortgage. They're not gonna use that 586. They're not gonna use that 513, and they're not gonna average them together and get a median. The middle score is what they're gonna use. So my middle score went from a 515 to a 621, which was high enough for me to get approved for a mortgage loan. I got approved for a little over 3 times what I grossed the past 2 years running. So anywho, I was approved. Oh, now this is where it starts. So I'm thinking, great, I got time to get some money together for a down payment or whatever. Y'all, when I sent all my information into that man, I had all my information sent into that man probably within 2 weeks. Y'all, that man, and me and my realtor, we went around looking at some houses or whatever. I picked out my house. I put down earnest money. Earnest money is money that you put up to say, I want this home or whatever. Y'all, they wanted me to close May the 10th. I just talked to the people April 2018. I think it was April 3rd. They set a closing date for May the 10th. Y'all, I ain't had no money. I had nowhere to, what? May the 10th, I don't have no money for no down payment. I remember telling y'all I was so dumb and ignorant too. I remember telling the guy, I thought I had till like June or July, not June, July or August to get some money together, because you know I was an LPN. I was gonna hustle. I could hustle up that money working. You know, if I had to work 30 days straight to get that money, I could have hustled up about $2-3 grand and $3 to $6 grand in 2 months for a down payment. Because, you know, if you're a nurse, you know, you can hustle and you can get this money. You can make this money do what you want to do. I told my kids, if I had to have not one day off and work 30, 60 days straight to get that down payment money, I was going to get it. But no, y'all, May the 10th. So I had to tell him, I'm not ready. I don't have no money. So anyway, you know, he was like, there's no way you can get the down payment because everything. And I said, he was like, no, people have to do that when there's something wrong with the paperwork or with something, you know, when there's things wrong, that's when people have to delay closing. When your stuff is in order and everything is right, you can close in 30 days. I was like, damn, didn't know that. Y'all, I ain't had no money. So you can see me. I had a nephew who was nice enough. My nephew let his auntie borrow over $5,000. I'm not gonna say borrow, because you know when you get money, when you're getting a home, they in them bank accounts. They in your bank account. Anything over, I think, $500, they want to know where that money come from. If you can't prove where that money come from, they think you out here doing something illegal. They will shut down your home buying process. A family member can't loan you money because they look at that as you have to pay them back. So they have to add that debt to what they're considering for your home loan, and they have a debt to income ratio they go by, and they don't, if you're over that debt to income ratio, you can't get your home loan. And I actually I was like a little above the line. I think it was like 43%, and they only wanted me to be at like 42%. So I actually had to pay Badcock off, which I only owed them like $200 something before my loan could get approved. And so I paid them off, and then I had to bring them the receipt showing it was paid off. It was in my credit, like they was, y'all, when I say y'all this thing was stressful, the guy kept asking for the same information over and over that I already upload. I was getting headaches. Then don't think it, some people had places where help pay for their down payment and stuff. I didn't have like an agency, a government agency, or anything, which I didn't know anything about that. Now if I was to do it over, I am going to do it over again. I'm going to buy another home. It's going to be so much different. I might even build this time. I don't think I'm just going to, I might even build. It's going to be a much smoother process because I learned the game. There are resources out there that will help you. They would have helped me be the first time home buyer. I don't know what the resources are for a second time home buyer, but there are resources out there that will put your down payment money for you. But I did all of this myself. So the earnest money, that was some money. That was $500 I put up as earnest money. Then you have to pay someone to come inspect the house. So that was money I had. That was like $350 I had to pay an inspector. Then I had to pay for an appraisal. Yeah, an appraisal. That was like $500. I was like, damn, if I got to keep paying for this stuff before I even get the house, how the hell I'm going to save money to buy the house, you know? So, y'all, I was so stressed. So anyway, after all, but the guy was nice enough. So May 10th, they pushed the closing back to May 25th. Now, the seller of the house, she was getting a little anxious because I guess she was like, look, y'all sure y'all going to buy? Y'all serious? Because we done took this thing off the market. Y'all sure? And I was like, yeah, I'm sure. So I worked it out for the home loan. Like I said, my nephew was so sweet to give his auntie over $5,000 for the down payment on her home. Yeah, but the thing is, when they give you this money, y'all, they got to give up so much of their information that I was like, oh, I hate to even do this. They got to show the people their bank accounts because they got to show the money going out of their account. They got to, it's just sign a form saying that this is not a loan. This is a gift that I'm gifting the person. And you know, if it really is a person who's lending you the money, they have to really trust that you're going to pay them their money back. Now, I'm not saying, you know, I'm not saying mine wasn't a gift, but they have to trust that you're going to pay that money back. And for my nephew, younger than me, I felt some kind of way because he was 20-something, married, child. I think he had one child at the time. To trust to give me, someone who credit was so tore up. And who has been working as a nurse all these years and didn't even have $5,000 saved in her bank account. That just shows right there that I wasn't good at balancing my money and stuff. For him to sign a form saying that he was giving me over $5,000 as a gift so I could purchase this home, y'all, I could cry now. But yes, he did that for his auntie. And so, you know, he had to send over his bank account's information. And so here I am. Okay, so May 25th, I'm ready. Now I got everything in order. May 25th, I'm ready to close. My lease in my apartment was actually going to be up that June. So I was like, good, that'll give me time to get everything together. So something about, and I hadn't heard anything from like May 15th to May 25th. I didn't hear anything from the mortgage, I guess he was the mortgage, he was the broker, whatever he was. I don't even know what to call him now, but the guy that worked with the mortgage company. I didn't hear nothing from him, and I was in the Facebook group saying, y'all, this guy's not reaching out to me. It was like, if you don't hear anything, that's good news, so just be patient. So come to find out, child, the guy done got fired from the company because he was trying to juggle too many things at one time. He was trying to close here, do this, being greedy to where he had stuff that I was sending him that he wasn't even sending in to the mortgage company. Like, he wasn't sending my information in. That's why he kept asking me for things over and over, and I was getting a headache. I was like, I just sent that to you last week, or God, you need this again. Like, at one point I even broke down to my friend on the phone. I was like, I'm just gonna go rent a house, pay like $1,200-$1,300 a month to get a house suitable for me and my kids, because this is a headache. You know, I don't want to, I was like, I don't want to go through all this. This is just too much. It's just every time you turn around, it's something. Oh, and another thing, let me tell y'all. So I knew my credit score was going to increase some more because I had to pay off Badcock. And it was in the process from from like March. Sometimes you could do things like pay things on your credit report, but it's not going to reflect in 30 days because some companies only do stuff every 60 days or 90 days. So the accounts that I paid off, that I closed and got them to zero balance, those accounts hadn't reflected on my credit report. So in May, I asked the guy to please run my credit again because I know my score had increased. Y'all, my middle score had went from a 621 to like a 675, which would have gave me a much better interest rate, which actually would have made me eligible for a USDA home loan, which is one of those loans where they do pay your down payment. It would have qualified me for that because I think their score requirement is only a 650. I was at like a 675. You know, this guy told me they couldn't use that credit score because they had already worked out all the paperwork and the rate with the 621, and they couldn't go. And I didn't know no better, so I was like, okay, well, whatever you say. Y'all don't know how many points I could have saved on my credit report, on my interest rate, if I would have just said, well, I'm not even going to go through with this. We're going to let this go. I'm going to go look. I'm going to go with another company. I'm going to look with them. I could have even went to my bank with that credit score that I could have went to my bank and got a loan, a home loan at a much better interest rate than the one I got. I'm not talking trash about the interest rate I got. It is kind of high to me. It's a 5.75. At that time, people like up north and stuff were getting 6%. So I was like, it's not the highest, but then people were better companies were getting like 3.75 and 4%. It's your first time doing stuff. The mortgage lender, he just wants you to close, so he gonna try to talk. You know, you got to talk to somebody who knows something. And I was talking to the people in the group. And then another thing, I was like antsy to go ahead and move because my lease is up in June. But had I had the intelligence about me that I have now, I would have said, well, I'm not doing this deal. I'm gonna look elsewhere. Waited like 2 or 3 months. I might have lost the house, and I would have lost my earnest money. I would have lost I would have lost the earnest money. I would have lost the appraisal money. I would have lost the inspection money. But I would have saved thousands because with that 675 instead of a 5.75, I probably could have got like a 4.5 interest rate on my home. So just a little something for you guys so y'all will know. Don't be a dummy like I was. Now, I could always refinance. I'm 2 months in my home. As a matter of fact, on the June 8th will be 2 years. I'm sorry, 2 years that I've had my house. I could have refinanced by now. I just didn't. I don't know what I'm waiting on, being dumb. But anywho, so May 25th rolled around. I found out they fired the guy because he wasn't doing what he was supposed to do. So they had to push my closing back again to June the 8th. So I'm like, okay, well, they're just give me another pay period to make some money. So I was cool with it. And, I had already put my 30-day notice in at my apartment complex that I was moving. So, that still was good. So June 8th, when June 8th came around, y'all, I went in the little office and signed my little papers. I closed on my little house. I became a little homeowner. 4-bedroom, 2.5 bath, 2-story home. I think it's a little under 1,800 square feet, which is not a lot, but y'all, coming from somebody who was in like 900 square feet, 2-bedroom, bath and a half apartment with all 5 of my kids, the grown ones and all, we was making it work in that apartment. We had been in there for about 2 years, but y'all, this was like a mansion to us. And I'm still in here, still trying to make a way. Like I said, I still had a semester of school to go. After I bought my house, I don't know what possessed me to buy a damn house while I was in school. Y'all, that was the oh God. I really deserve a month of vacation time after I bought my house and finished school. Y'all, I have never, my blood pressure, I didn't used to check my blood pressure. It probably was like 210. I used to get, y'all, I'm telling y'all, that is the worst experience. And I'm told you can either, your home buying experience could be the best or the worst. Mine was the absolute, I ain't gonna say absolute worst. So there's probably people, I know people who have put money down, who had bidded on houses and lost the home and all kind of stuff. And some people, the process took 2 years or whatever from the time that they got approved to the time they actually found something. And in the grand scheme of things, I applied for the home loan April 3rd of 2018. I closed June the 8th of 2018. So it really wasn't, it was just over 60 days. So in the grand scheme of things, it wasn't a long drawn out process. Even though I wanted it to be long and drawn out in the beginning, I didn't want to close till like August, right before I started back in school and my kids, and I could have hustled up some money. But once you get approved and you got your money for your down payment together, you be like, I'm ready to go now. Let me get this property. Y'all, I moved in my house the damn day that I signed them. The day I signed, when I knew we was actually closing June 8th, I already had my moving truck rented. I had already had all that together. Me and my kids stayed the night in this home June 8th. I didn't do no painting, no nothing, none of that before I moved in. And we was ready to roll, ready to move in. The house was done. It wasn't nothing that needed to be done. Once I got in it, I did the little painting, this or that, and third or whatever. But that was my home buying experience. And I just want to say my next home buying experience is going to go much smoother because I know the game now. What I do is to offset that interest, I send like an extra $150, extra $200 to my mortgage every month. Sometimes, I think last month I sent an extra $300. I'm just trying to offset. And sometimes I be thinking about, why do you do that when you just want to sell? You probably gonna sell a house anyway, but you never know. I might decide to keep the house, being long-eyed and done got my RN now, making that pretty decent, good money, just double what I was making as an LPN, to be honest. Knowing I can actually afford more and get one of those houses that I saw in the magazines that I used to look at, or used to see on Realtor.com, and they were like $250,000. But my home loan, I'm gonna just go ahead and say it, my home loan was only for $140,000, so I couldn't get that house. Knowing that, like, now I could probably get approved for that house. So I'll just see how it goes. But yeah, that was my home buying experience. So yeah, that was my video on my home buying experience. If you have any tips for me, if you have any questions, if you are on your journey yourself and you just need somebody just to hear, just somebody to let you know everything's gonna be okay. If you want to discuss your journey, if you're on to buying your second home, maybe you can give me some tips on what I did wrong the first time around, because the realtor wanted to close because she wanted her money. The mortgage broker or whatever, they want to close because they get commission. So, and nobody's really representing for you but you. And if you don't have anybody that you know that can talk you through the process and tell you this is right and that is right and that is wrong, because a lot of people don't want to take the time to do that, then you kind of like a fish out of water. I was a fish out of water, y'all. I didn't know what I tried to do research, but everybody's situation or everybody's story is different, and I didn't know nothing, y'all. But I got my house, I guess. Taxes, another thing. I ain't gonna talk about that. You gotta think about all those things when you buy a house. Anywho, ladies, well, guys, this is my video, my home buying experience. Catch me on my next video. I'm trying to knock them out, send them, like you might see me in the same outfit for 4 videos, because I'm trying to make up for the time I was being lazy, not putting no videos out. I think my next video, I don't know what it's gonna be about, but y'all just stay tuned. Sorry this was a long one, but I hope you enjoyed. Talk to you later. Bye, guys.